John Driscoll would tell us if we'll do it.
It was an unhappy Christmas for Chelsea. Just 1 point from 3 games over the festive period left them 8 points behind the leaders, and with the chasing pack of other Champions League hopefuls breathing down their necks. With a trip to Old Trafford to come next week, it's vital Chelsea take all 3 points today, but it won't be easy against a side who've won 1-0 on both of their last 2 visits to the Bridge. Mario Melchut is out with a thigh injury, so it's an easy decision for Claudio Ranieri. Gallas, Terry and Desailly all continue. Mario Stanic has lost his battle with a knee problem. Graham Lasaux comes in. Gudjohnsen and Hasselbaink looking to get among the goals. So Gallas will play right back. John Terry and Marcel Desailly, the 2 centre-backs. And Graham Lasaux will take his position on the left-hand side of the midfield, with Jesper Gronkjaer playing down the right. Alan Kirbishley has brought back 2 experienced defenders, Chris Powell and Mark Fish. He rested them against Exeter in the FA Cup. Jensen and Parker returned to the midfield. The men out of Fortune, Bart-Williams, Johansson and Bartlett for the visitors. So it's Luke Young at right back and Chris Powell at left back, the 2 experienced centre-backs there. And Kishishev, the Bulgarian, will play on the right-hand side of midfield. In Paul Konchesky down the left, which means that Jason Euell will partner Kevin Lisbie up front for Charlton. And the referee just checking that everybody is happy. Traditionally, of course, English football is played on green grass, not bound by that particular convention. A lot's been said about the state of the pitch at Stamford Bridge, and it really, you can understand why when you look at the colour of it. The last game that will be played before it is relayed is underway, and Chelsea punt the ball forward, and Dean Kiely has the ball in his hands. Tracky bottoms, obviously, for the occasion, for the experienced, ever-present keeper, Ireland international. First aerial battle for John Terry, and Chelsea managed to get it away. Little layoff, and referee Mike Dean just brings it back. Jimmy Floyd Hasselbaink not in the goals of late. 10 hours of football for him. How often throughout his career could you have said that? Smile from the referee. Decent atmosphere inside Stamford Bridge, and the free kick is taken. Excellent leap at the back, and Chelsea can get it away. It's Gronkjaer battling away, but he isn't able to come away with the ball. Klaus Jensen charging in, but he loses out to Lampard. And the bearded Petit. It's Charlton who emerged though, and Chelsea with a bit of defending to do. And Cudicini off his line quickly, if he needed to be. Kevin Lisbie, who got the winner in a 1-0 success for Charlton at the Bridge last season. Hasn't scored many goals in his Football League career, still in single figures. He's now 24 years of age, but as Chelsea know to their cost, he can be dangerous. Tiny strip of green grass there that Celestine Babayaro is standing on before we go back into the playing arena. Here's Lasaux, great chance early on, and Hasselbaink hits the ground, and it's a penalty. Excellent start for Chelsea. Charlton aren't happy with it, but Mike Dean has made his decision. Hasselbaink certainly agrees with it. So as Lasaux plays the ball in here, the challenge comes from Chris Powell, and the referee's decision is absolutely instant. He just obviously feels that as Powell was raising his leg there, that he made contact with Hasselbaink. The debate continues, and Chris Powell finds himself in the referee's notebook as a result of it. He's still not happy. The former England international, I guess, would have to call Chris Powell now. The incident happened inside the first 2 minutes. Hasselbaink a chance to end his mini-goal drought. What Chelsea could do with this, with what's promising to be a difficult afternoon. The pitch conditions, I wonder if he'll raise the ball and crack it in the air, or whether he'll take a chance on the pitch inside the penalty area. Jimmy Floyd composes himself. The referee just checking that they're all back in position. Here comes Hasselbaink. Well done, Jimmy Floyd Hasselbaink. And Chelsea have taken a much-needed early lead. Jimmy Floyd Hasselbaink won the penalty, and he scored the penalty. He's back in business. No mistake with the kick. Cool as you like, just a little body shape to send Dean Kiely the wrong way, and then he rolled it to the keeper's right-hand side. And the referee still continuing to talk to those Charlton players who are unhappy, but Hasselbaink has scored. for Chelsea. Back in the goals trade that he knows so well, of course. The 7th of the season in the Premiership, to go with his cup goals as well. And what a start for Chelsea. Concerned, of course, that Charlton are a decent side, who've won here on a couple of occasions, but a chance for a double, of course, this afternoon for Chelsea, having won at the Valley with a late goal on the opening day of the season. Here's Hasselbaink again. No-nonsense challenge, though, from the South African international, Mark Fish. Babayaro's throwing. Gudjohnsen touches it back to him, and it's whipped in again. Because Powell has to deal with it again. Good start by Chelsea. Luke Young, the former Spurs player, England under-21 international, cost £3 million when he arrived from North London. Lampard just tries to win the ball back and flicks it on. And there's no real target up there. Lisbie running in behind John Terry, but comfortable enough for Terry, who is playing in the centre-back role. Gallas at right-back, as we said before the game. Now Gronkjaer stretching his legs and trying to test Powell for pace. Just wonder if that went out. It didn't, according to the referee's assistant. And Gallas will get the ball in. Another half chance. Gudjohnsen this time rising and glancing his head away. Very, very encouraging start for Chelsea, as the fans will know. Getting to their feet there as the attack for wide positions again. It's something that's been said about Chelsea, that they don't really get balls into the box for scoring opportunities, but the goal came from that, the penalty, the foul by Powell and Jimmy Floyd Hasselbaink, and a half chance there for Gudjohnsen. Petit just lets it bounce, and a little delay allows Jason Euell to get in. Terry's half-header away, and Petit finds Lampard. It's difficult to play in that midfield in these conditions. You can see that the pitch cutting up as the players try to knock the ball around. The Charlton front players just getting a bit over-eager, being caught in an offside position by the referee from the Wirral, who has left Chelsea earlier this season. He sent off Celestine Babayaro at Bolton. Header away by Fish again. Now Jensen, not really his kind of conditions either. They get it forward to Jason Euell, who's a physical presence, Euell. He is causing one or two problems here. Good defending though, even though the ball can't really be cleared, and Scott Parker has it. Tricky little player. And no-nonsense challenge from Graham Rousseau, and Euell isn't happy with that. And the referee will just be trying to calm a few people down. Seems to have a slight problem with his knee. There's Scott Parker. And so, just having a chat with Mark Fish. And the referee continuing to make his views known to Radostan Kishishev, Charlton number 2, as he pulls Rousseau over. And Rousseau just saying, it, ref, I know. Eager challenge early in the game. A notebook in hand, it looks like there is going to be a card produced. Chris Powell already in the book. Difficult conditions. I suppose you might say that Rousseau is a bit over-eager, bearing in mind how difficult it is to stop out there. And also for Parker, when he saw the pitch cut up as he tried to turn around. He was getting a bit of extensive treatment from the Charlton physio, Andy Jones. Cracking atmosphere at the bridge. Helped, of course, by the early goal by Jimmy Floyd from the penalty spot, but he won it himself. And they all count just the same. Now, dangerous left foot, Paul Konchesky. It will suit the left footer to swing it in towards Carlo Cudicini's goal. And if we go for goal, we'll try and find one of the big men, the likes of Rufus and Fish. Here comes Konchesky. He got it through the wall, and he's jumped and turned away. Babayaro and Saux. That's the point that Carlo Cudicini is making. But he didn't catch it well, Konchesky. Scored 3 goals this season. He's another England under-21 international. and he certainly can catch the ball well when he gets it right, but not on that occasion. Jimmy Floyd in dialogue with the referee. There's a change. Lampard down to Jimmy Floyd, Hasselbaink again. Lampard tries to spread it wide. He didn't want to go for the short ball probably because he was afraid of it cutting up on that pitch, but over-optimistic in the end from Frank. Kishishev plays it forward, and Cudicini has to come and deal with that one. Good keeping by Carlo Cudicini. It's Kishishev down on the ground, but Chelsea aren't interested in that. They get it forward to Hasselbaink. Good defending by Mark Fish. So he's playing advanced of Babayaro. Missed out on this occasion, in fact, Lampard. It's good hassling by Scott Parker, forces him back to John Terry. And Kishishev just, he's towering above Babayaro there and was easily able to just use his physical presence to let the ball drop out of play. Here's Richard Rufus. Kishishev, the Bulgarian, can't find Klaus Jensen. In fact, Lampard will maybe a chance to open this again for Chelsea. Here's Gronkjaer, admitted recently that he's not playing particularly well, but we'll see if he can get a bit better. Here's Gallas with a chance. Oh, what a fine strike by Willie Gallas. People have questioned whether he can play in the advanced role, but there's no doubting that kind of finish. Fantastic overlapping run with Gronkjaer, and when it sat up nicely for him, what a strike by the Frenchman. Little bit of luck there with the deflection of Powell, and it sat up nicely, but then it's a finish that Hasselbaink would have been proud of. What a start by Chelsea. No chance at all for Dean Kiely, and he deserves to be delighted with himself there, William Gallas. It's his third goal of the season, scored against Manchester United and Sunderland as well. He's played some part in every single Premiership game this season, whether it's at centre-back or filling in at right-back, which is not his natural position, but he might just find himself staying in that position. What a strike, what a goal. Well, pre-match we were billing just how dangerous Charlton were and what a threat they would be going in off this long unbeaten run, with a good record at the Bridge in previous seasons. I suppose the good thing about the pitch is that Charlton are a decent side to face with the likes of Parker and Jensen. It's not as if they're a long ball team who are going to give Chelsea a big physical battle. And Chelsea certainly started like a house on fire. Jason Euell just dropping back into midfield to try and win the ball. Breaks though Chelsea's way. There's Luke Young. Sensibly decides to run the ball out of play. He's 23 years of age now, Luke Young. 3 seasons at Spurs before making the trip to the Valley. Jensen tries to flick it on. Euell can't get there, and Petit sensibly just turns it back to Carlo Cudicini, who could be in line for an enforced layoff after the incident with Dean Windass in the FA Cup last week. Petit gets it forward. Hasselbaink, and now Saux. Saux's ball in. Half chance for Gudjohnsen. Good defending by Mark Fish. It's going to be a corner for Chelsea. Fantastic start. First time ball played in by Saux. Fish, he tried to make the clearance. I suppose we could give him the benefit of the doubt and say, we didn't run too nicely off the pitch. More defending for Dean Kiely than the likes to do. Here comes Hasselbaink. Smacks into the side netting. A few oohs and ahs, but not the best set piece ever taken by the Dutch international. Real bargain by Dean Kiely, former Bury player, Republic of Ireland international, although he comes from Salford. 7 caps ever present this season and last season. Real Mr. Reliability. Helped forward towards the Charlton front two, and there's a bit of tugging going on there. Kevin Lisbie has won a free kick from Marcel Desailly. suppose Jensen might be one potential candidate. Marcel's not very happy with that decision. Chelsea can't really complain, I suppose, about Mr. Dean so far. Charlton furious at the early penalty award. Now Klaus Jensen, highly talented midfield player. There's one candidate, Konchesky. We've seen him. He does one free kick so far in this game. Chelsea could do without conceding here, having raced him to a 2-goal early lead. Cudicini looking concerned. Jensen and Konchesky, the two candidates. It's going to be Jensen. That's not the best free kick he's ever taken. Lampard's half clearance isn't the best. And will it break inside the penalty area? More defending for Chelsea to do, and it's Petit in the end who just sticks out a boot and gets it away. That's not the most convincing clearance either, but Chelsea might be able to make something of this. The Saux surveys his options, switches direction, and Chris Powell is fouled according to the referee. Gronkjaer can't quite believe the decision. It looks as if the two of them arrived at the same time, and both of them going for the ball in exactly the same manner. No real complaints though by Gronkjaer. Hasn't scored at the bridge for 2 years, Gronkjaer. It would be a great occasion for him. He could join in. Started out like a goal fest for Chelsea in the first quarter of an hour of this game. Gallas. It's Konchesky who won the ball back, but Petit's had a good game. Here's Mark Fish, old Lazio player, teammate of Cudicini. Very briefly, on Cudicini's pass. Some break forward here, and good defending to do, and it's another free kick in a very dangerous position. John Terry this time, the man penalised. Luke Young bursting forward, and an old under-21 teammate, and he just decided there, Mike Dean, that Terry's handball was deliberate and made a difference. Another opportunity. We've had two set pieces already around the box, and Cudicini not happy with this. Definitely suits the right footer this time, although of course they could be banking on that and let Konchesky hit it. Klaus Jensen, Danish international. Mike Dean is now happy with the wall. Will it be Jensen or Konchesky? Konchesky leaves it, it's Jensen, and he hits the wall again. Struggling to really strike the ball properly, Charlton's creative players. Fish plays it forward, flicked on again by Konchesky. Defending comes from John Terry. Rufus now plays it forward. It is a long ball. If Charlton are going to be tempted to just fall back into that tactic. Petit plays it forward. Good flick on by Hasselbaink. Richard Rufus, no nonsense from him. That's his style as well. Chelsea trying to play a bit of football. Difficult though in the pitch conditions. There's not an awful lot of green to be seen out there. You have to feel a little bit of sympathy for Gronkjaer. Not sure many Charlton fans will be. Just trying to backtrack and landed on his backside. Have a look at his shorts in a minute. We'll see how much of the sand has ended up there as well. Dario Ranieri referring to it as the beach, Stamford beach, but it will all be back to normal for the next home game once that new pitch has been laid, which will be in place to the end of the season. Still, the way Chelsea have started so far today, they won't want to see this pitch go. Jonathan Johansson, the Charlton sub, scored 2 goals in the FA Cup last week, although there's a huge barren spell in the Premiership. Here comes a throw from Luke Young. And a bit of defending again for Chelsea to do. It's Lampard who gets it halfway. Kishishev nods it down, and it's played back in again. And a last-ditch challenge comes from Marcel Desailly. The flag was up, and a chance for Chelsea to just relieve the pressure. Jason Euell, who has got a good record against Chelsea in recent years. He's a record signing. Scored both goals in their victory at the Valley last season. Scored 6 in his last 7 as well. And he has been playing in midfield a lot of the time with Bartlett up front with Lisbie. And he is prepared to change his formation a lot of times Alan Kirbishley tries to match the opposition when he's playing against the better sides, the likes of Chelsea, and he's done that with his 4-4-2 today. Hasn't yet really worked for him, although they are on the attack. Jensen, who is really struggling in the conditions, he slipped again there, couldn't get the ball down. Lampard now gets it away. Good layoff by Gudjohnsen. Now what can Saux do from here? He's going to crack it. Decent effort by Graham Saux, and Dean Kiely's dive was for real as well, and he'd been relieved to see that come back off the hoardings. He struck that well. And the fans behind the goal looking optimistic for a second. Here comes Jimmy Floyd, scorer of the first goal. This cross, though, is well dealt with by Dean Kiely. Opts for the half-volley clearance and should be dealt with by John Terry. It is done, and he's gone down quite heavily there, John Terry. Cudicini clears the ball. Terry's back up on his feet. Hasselbaink just getting back to get involved, and a chance to break away, and Gronkjaer to show his pace. Gone past one challenge. Good play this by Gronkjaer. Gudjohnsen wants it short. He ignored that option. Charlton able to clear. Petit wins it back. He doesn't look hurried at all, Manu Petit. He's almost revelling in the conditions. Petit wants it again from Gronkjaer. Tries to take on Powell. Wins another corner for Chelsea. Vastly experienced player, Chris Powell, called up to the England squad, of course, by Sven-Göran Eriksson. Played 5 times, seems to have fallen out of favour. As has Graham Saux. The likes of Ashley Cole and Wayne Bridge occupying England's left-sided positions. Saux' corner. Whipped in and headed away near post. Not the best. Lampard tries to keep it going. Plenty of height on that one from Cudicini, and Fish controls it, and plenty of time, and turns it with a bit of interest. Actually a game of tennis, so we couldn't play tennis out there. Konchesky with the long ball now for Charlton, headed away again by John Terry. Good to see him back in the side. He's given Claudio Ranieri a good dilemma. Made easier by Melchuk's injury today. Will it break for Jensen? It doesn't, and Lampard and Petit, for me, have started this game particularly well in midfield. They're able to come away again. Gudjohnsen's ball forward. That's a bit too much, even with the pace of Jimmy Floyd Hasselbaink. Problems on the way. Jody Morris looks as if he's getting his final battle instructions from Claudio Ranieri. We'll see what switch the coach makes in a second. Lampard clears it long. Gudjohnsen gets it down, and he can't find the intended target. Not entirely sure what the intended target was. Here's Chrissy Powell again at the back for Charlton. Jensen really is the playmaker, and they look a better side when he's on form. Jason Euell, powerful, and he's dropped deep and breaking away. And dear me, that is not the quality that Charlton fans have come to expect from Paul Konchesky. The youngest ever player, and the change is being made. And just 22 minutes into the game, and that is the end for John Terry. He looks very disappointed. So obviously means a rejig for Chelsea. Jody Morris coming into the fray. 4th time he's got on as a substitute. 12 starts as well. It's after a new contract, chance to impress. Take us a minute or two to figure out the Chelsea formation. Does have the option, of course, of maybe switching Graham Saux back into the defence, and Kiely or Babayaro maybe going to right back. We'll try and figure it out as Cudicini gets on with the game. Doesn't really have defensive options on the bench. Ranieri, Goey, Zenden, Zola, Carlton Cole. Good Well, with the exception of De Hoy, the keeper, all good attacking players. Just a little bit of tugging there by Mark Fish, and then he wrapped the boot around Gudjohnsen. That was the point at which Mr. Dean gave his decision. Scrappy at times, this encounter at Stamford Bridge, but Chelsea have taken their opportunities well. Lead by 2-0. Hasselbaink and Gallas. Petit is another candidate for that defensive role as well. Let's see exactly how they're panning out. Looks like Petit has stepped back alongside Desailly. Wouldn't be the first time in his career. And Willie Gallas continuing. Right back, that's his clearance. Which Rufus steps in. And I don't know if that was an intended pass by Rufus. It certainly worked and found Euell. Konchesky on the overlap. Calls for a decent ball. Excellent bit of defending by Marcel Desailly as Chelsea just reorganised after Terry went off. It's bad news for Terry. I was just almost tempted fate by saying how good it was to see him back in the side. More defending to do. That's Desailly, this time slicing his clearance. Good work there by Babayaro. And the decision goes the way of the Bulgarian Kishishev. 40-odd caps, is in his third season. He's a real slow starter for Charlton. Seems finally to have got himself a role in the midfield. Luke Young plays behind him. The ball is whipped in by Kishishev. Half chance for Jason Euell. He won't beat Cudicini in the form that he's been in this season quite as easily as that. Hasselbaink not able to find Gudjohnsen. Powell under pressure from Lampard. Afraid he's not to foul. Parker to Young. And Richard Rufus, a long injury layoff for him. A while back, he's back somewhere near his very best. Breaking down the right-hand side is Luke Young. William Gallas able to bring the ball away. Over the sand, just to give the pitch one last bit of protection before it is decommissioned once and for all. New state-of-the-art pitch will be put in the summer. There's another temporary, another short-term job being done between now and then. So, still operating in the left side midfield, despite the Chelsea reorganisation with Petit dropping back in to replace John Terry. Good run forward by Luke Young, and under pressure Scott Parker gets the ball out of play. .24 years of age now, Babayaro, 26 caps to his name for Nigeria. Petit, who for me have been playing well in the midfield. We'll see if that affects Chelsea. There's obviously a force change. Long ball forward by Powell. The flag was up anyway, but Petit. I don't think there's any doubt about the job that Petit can do as a centre-back. It's a question of whether his influence in the centre of the park, where he and Lampard had really dominated early on, affects the side. Jensen, Scott Parker. Chelsea quite happy with the relative slow pace of the game. Charlton again tempted into playing the ball long. I suppose they've made ground, nothing else. Jensen to Young again. Slack marking for a second. Kishishev finds himself with a bit of room. Not the most creative players though, Radistin Kishishev. He's not able to do anything with it. Just beginning to fear that Chelsea have got themselves a bit too deep. Gudjohnsen will chase this one, but Kiely always favourite to win it. Very happy, Kevin Lisbie, been caught offside an awful lot of times. I think Chelsea are deliberately operating an offside trap as such, is holding a line like any back four would be expected to do. And it's down to walking pace virtually. Gallas gives it forward to Jody Morris. First couple of touches for him. Similar player in a way to Scott Parker. Tricky, a little bit lightweight, certainly in terms of physical bulk, not necessarily in fighting qualities. free kick is given away, despite a little tug there by Euell on Desailly, certainly as he saw it. Referee saw it the other way. Key player Jason Euell for Charlton Athletic. Old Wimbledon player, scored 7 times in the Premiership, once in the FA Cup already this season. I think the message is this is going to go long inside the Chelsea penalty area. And it bounces as well, it's allowed to go down. Jason Euell had the opportunity. That's probably the worst bit of defending we've seen from Chelsea so far today. They've looked fairly solid at the back, despite the fact that Charlton have had a reasonable amount of possession. The ball was allowed to bounce. Euell was allowed to get his shot away under pressure from Babayaro, and he did go high and wide. But Cudicini not delighted to see that. Alan Kirbishley has been involved as co-manager or manager of Charlton since 1991. Not many managers around at any level of the game could boast a record like that. Gudjohnsen will let this one run out of play, and Chelsea was able to build a bit of possession almost inside the Charlton third. Since the second goal, which was scored 18 minutes ago by William Gallas, Charlton have had most of the ball, if not necessarily forcing any chances to go with it. Lampard under pressure from Jensen. Desailly joins in. Gronkjaer gets it down. It's Chris Powell backing away. Easy enough really for Kiely to take. Unhappy with his defenders and his midfielders, losing the ball a bit too easily as he sees it. And so leaves it for Babayaro to get forward. But the most convincing of clearances, Hasselbaink can't get it down, can't get control of it. Konchesky tidies up. Petit takes, normally would be the sensible option, but it actually gives Cudicini a little bit of work to do. Or certainly was happier chipping the ball up and playing it in the air. Carlo Cudicini. You wouldn't blame a keeper for being unhappy receiving back passes on the Stamford Bridge surface this afternoon. It's having quite a crisp and clear day in West London, which is good news really, because had it been rainy and difficult, now it's a back pass. And he really, I was just saying that he wasn't happy receiving back passes, and now Petit put it back to him with a bit of pace, and Cudicini, I don't really blame him for taking the option that he did. Bent down and picked it up. Yeah. There's no doubt about the decision, no arguments with the referee. And where is he? He's about 11 yards out from the goal when he handles that ball. We'll see where the referee puts the ball down and tells Charlton to take it. Of course, it has to be a touch, but they do have plenty of options. And Chelsea will pull everybody back. They've got to be 10 yards away from the ball. They're not at the moment. I'm sure the referee will force them back. A lot of teams in these circumstances will leave the keeper in front of the on-rushing defenders. Konchesky looks like a candidate to me. Parker and Jensen, the two players over it. Jason Euell has a word to say. I suspect the tactic here will be to touch it to either Euell or Konchesky. So just in conversation with Mike Dean, Chelsea concerned at this opportunity for Charlton. The set pieces so far haven't been too impressive. Jason Euell is ready to strike it, and he strikes that into the mass of bodies. Chelsea have defended that quite well. Really does show you the effect that the pitch has had on that. I'm sure the pitch was the reason that Cudicini bent down and picked the ball up. He just didn't fancy striking the ball because he wasn't confident about what it was going to do. And then the other side of the coin, Jason Euell's set piece was very unconvincing. Here's Jensen's ball in. Chelsea half clear it. Scott Parker tries to knock it back into the danger area. Fish flicks it on. But away come Chelsea. Jimmy Frank Hasselbaink now. Blue shirts pouring forward. He's got the pace of Gronkjaer. Breaking through the middle is Frank Lampard. Hasselbaink just pulling away. Gets his head down. Gets for Gronkjaer, pulls it back. Chance for Gudjohnsen! And it's 3-0 for Chelsea. From the Charlton corner, the breakaway, and Gronkjaer found his man, and with a little bit of luck with the finish, Gudjohnsen is back on the goal sheet, and Chelsea are in cruise control. He got his head down, he got his cross away, Jesper Gronkjaer, and Gudjohnsen had pulled away, and he struck it well enough, but it took a firm deflection on its way past Dean Kiely, off Luke Young. Gudjohnsen's goal, no doubt about that, he'll definitely be claiming that. He'll be delighted with his 6th goal of the season. It's only his 2nd in 13 games though, Gudjohnsen, and there'll be no one taking that away from him. Chelsea are in cruise control. We'll see how Charlton react to this. Saw them a few seasons ago lose 5-0 in a game on Boxing Day to a West Ham side that included Frank Lampard that day. More defending to do. Gallas does it well, score of the 2nd goal of the afternoon. The target here is Kishishev, but Graham Saux is back helping out, and it's Mr. Rufus coming forward with a shot that was charged down. Kishishev again. Desailly away. Layoff by Saux to Hasselbaink. Morris now turns it wide to the right. Gronkjaer. Chelsea happy again to slow it down. Oh, lovely touch by Gudjohnsen. You can see what he was trying to do. And maybe on a truer surface it would have ran a bit more kindly for him. This is Lisbie under pressure from Babayaro. The referee's whistle goes. Well, Charlton have seen enough of the ball. They've done with it. It's been where they've been struggling. Haven't seen them strike a really convincing set piece so far in the 35 minutes that we've played. Here comes Konchesky. Lampard away. Back in from Kishishev, and this will be Cudicini's. I'm much happier with the ball in the air, the Italian keeper. Clears it high. And a back pass for Kiely to deal with. You can see how much the keeper struggles to get any distance on the ball. It's a lucky break on this occasion. The Saux to Babayaro. Jody Morris. Chelsea really showing that they are meaning business. It was a game they really needed to win. They get too premature with the celebrations of a Chelsea win, but 3 up inside the first half is certainly a good start, and that was a decent ball in again. But Luke Young had to clear, and it just trickles out for a corner. Of course, it's from a Charlton corner. Chelsea's 3rd goal game. Shows the quality of a player like Jesper Gronkjaer, the pace that they can have breaking away in those circumstances, helps out defenders and can of course lead to goals. Gudjohnsen tries to cause a few problems in front of Dean Kiely. Hasselbank's corner. Mark Fish's half clearance completed by Jason Euell. Graham Saux. Not entirely sure he intended to get the ball to Hasselbaink that way, and Hasselbaink is under pressure. And here come Charlton. Oh, excellent work by Gudjohnsen. A little layoff for Babayaro, but Richard Rufus quickly in with his challenge. World Cup winner, of course, Petit. And the double as well in England 4.5 years ago. Hasselbaink, just wondering if he was fouled there by Mark Fish, not so, said the referee. And Jason Euell just can't get the ball down. Been a frustrating afternoon so far for Charlton and for Jason Euell. Scott Parker being hassled into turning the ball back, and this time Kiely does make good, firm, clean contact. It's a good ball as well. Euell gets it down, ignores Luke Young, but he wishes he hadn't. Petit with a little layoff, and Babayaro can come away. Chelsea firmly in control. Good challenge came in, Luke Young. And a big broad smile on the face of Graham Saux back in the side. It's Mervyn Day, the coach, alongside Alan Kirbishley, the Charlton manager. The old Leeds and West Ham goalkeeper, Mervyn Day, of course. Kirbishley was a midfielder. Played for a good few teams, including Charlton and West Ham and Villa and Birmingham. As manager or co-manager, and over 500 games now at Charlton. Richard Rufus in plenty of time and space. Hasselbaink and Gudjohnsen not really interested in closing him down, forcing him into the long option. This time it does force a throw, which Luke Young will take. Just thinking back to some of the long ball sides who would have thrived in these conditions, the Wimbledon side of the 80s, or John Beck's Cambridge team in the late 80s, early 90s. They used to sand the pitch anyway. Chelsea had no option. It's not really Chelsea's kind of pitch, although you'd be mistaken thinking it was with the scoreline so far. Certainly Chelsea have adapted better to it and crucially taken their chances. Still smiling, Graham Saux. You can't blame him. His 14th Premiership game of the season, a little bit in and out. He's in his midfield role. Does provide a nice bit of balance to the Chelsea side. Euell leaves Petit lying on the ground. Lampard and then Petit again. Is he over-elaborating there, Petit? Is this a chance for Lisbie? And he goes down, he has a look at the referee, and the referee just looking to see if there's a bit of shirt tugging going on. And Desailly is not happy with the decision, and it's going to be, is it a red card going to be shown here? A bit of shirt tugging there by Marcel Desailly. Was it on Kevin Lisbie? And we'll see what the referee's decision is. Petit was playing his side into trouble. Lisbie was breaking away as the challenge came in. It's a yellow card, and that is the only good news really for Chelsea. Chance for Charlton to get back into the game, give themselves a lifeline. Carlo Cudicini has been in great form recently. Doesn't look as if there's anyone stepping forward to take this penalty. Cudicini stands hands on hips. Jason Euell scored 8 goals so far this season. Second penalty awarded by Mike D. Euell places the ball down on the spot. Hasselbaink scored early in the game. Can Jason Euell score just before half-time? Here comes Euell, and he beats Cudicini. Dived the right way, Carlo, and he had his hands up. But Jason Euell has brought Charlton back with a little bit of a lifeline. The decision was that it was a foul on Kevin Lisbie as he broke away. So a little tug on his shirt. And no mistake from the penalty spot by Jason Euell. What a first half we've had in terms of incident. Not necessarily the most fluent game of football you've ever seen. The whistle goes again from the referee. Just a little late into the challenge there. Jimmy making his views heard. You see little tufts of green every now and again on the pitch. Will be interesting half-time team talks coming up to be inside those dressing rooms. Here's Saux. Good challenge comes in from Scott Parker. Can he stop it going out to the corner? He can't. Another corner for Chelsea. Hasselbaink has taken them all from that side so far. Gudjohnsen has taken up his position near post. It's not going to be Hasselbaink again, and Gudjohnsen takes his position once more. Hasselbank's corner. And it's headed away by Richard Rufus, right in front of his keeper. Saux is an option for Hasselbaink. And he tries to use him, actually almost gets a lucky break to come away with the ball. Konchesky's challenge. That's another throw. The Saux throw gets it back from Gudjohnsen. Be urged to get out the Charlton players. Voice of Dean Kiely. Nothing here. And here comes Gronkjaer with an effort, bounces back off the defender. Petit plays it long. Petit really responsible for the Charlton goal, even if it was Desailly who actually made the challenge. Jensen heading back inside his own penalty area. Morris plays it to Gudjohnsen. Icelandic international back on the score sheet. A lovely touch by Jody Morris, and Kishishev has to clear. The Saux taking on Lisbie. He intended for that to happen, but it did anyway. Chelsea fans now just looking slightly more concerned than they were a few minutes ago before Jason Euell got that goal from the penalty spot. Hasselbaink will take Chelsea's 5th corner of the first half. An eventful first half. It's waiting for everybody to be ready. Half cleared again by Charlton. Jody Morris picks it up. Gronkjaer tries to take on Konchesky, not able to get past him though. And it's young Konchesky who clears it. Charlton's youngest ever player. He's now 21 years of age. He was only 16 when he made his first team debut back in 1997. Gudjohnson's touched, helped on by Gronkjaer. This is Willie Gallas, the scorer of the 2nd goal. His left foot is not his best. Back into the danger area though. Half chance for Gudjohnsen, and he struck it well left-footed, but it cleared the crossbar. He just looks up to the heavens. Haven't had many chances for a game that's currently standing at 3-1. And it was Luke Young's header that sat nicely for the Icelandic international. He swung a big left foot through it, and out of play. William Gallas with the clearance. It's Mark Fish. It's plenty of distance on his headers. More distance than a lot of the set pieces that we've seen so far this afternoon. Good header away by Rufus. One back though by Petit. Morris finds Hasselbaink. Bobbles all over the place and eventually comes to Scott Parker. Luke Young stretching his legs, runs into Euell Petit, and the referee seems to be in the mood to produce another yellow card. Luke Young's challenge, well, it's not what Petit really could do to get out of the way in the situation. Young was trying to come in field of him. I think the ball would have gone anyway. Didn't look to be in control of it, but the referee's decision is made. And Konchesky has another chance to deliver a set piece. Safe to say that Chelsea could do without conceding. Konchesky's free kick, Cudicini comes, and he does really well there, Carlo Cudicini. Comes wading through the mud and catches the ball at the end of the first half. And what an eventful first half it's been. Chelsea took the lead early on through Jimmy Floyd Hasselbaink from the penalty spot after he'd been fouled by Chris Powell. Referee Mike Dean pointing to the spots. And it was a really good start for Chelsea, because inside the first 11 minutes they were 2 goals up. William Gallas with a cracking finish after an overlapping run from right full back. It got even better when Gudjohnsen made it 3-0, but Jason Euell's penalty just before half-time really just put us in store for a fascinating second half here at Stamford Bridge, where Chelsea lead Charlton by 3-1. Alan Kirbishley obviously means business in this second half. Desperate to get back into the game. They got that lifeline with the goal scored by Jason Euell from the penalty spot. He's obviously going to play in the midfield in the second half. It certainly looks that way, unless they decide to bomb 3 up front. And it's Sean Bartlett introduced into the action. Ranistin Kishishev has made way. He scored 2 goals this season so far. Bartlett hasn't scored in his last 8. It's obviously the reason that his manager left him out. But he did score the only goal of the game 2 years ago at Stamford Bridge, when Charlton won by a 0-0. A vastly experienced South African international, 60 caps to his name. And it does mean a reorganisation. Chelsea forced into a reorganisation, of course, in the first half. Just to remind you, when John Terry went off and Petit dropped back into the defence, and then, even by his own admission, would admit that he had a part to play in Charlton winning that penalty. And here come the reorganised Charlton athletic side. The ball is played long. The target is Bartlett, and he gets it down immediately in the action. Flicked it forward there towards his fellow substitute Jonathan Johansson. The ball is cleared away. I don't know what Rufus was appealing for, but the referee has indeed blown his whistle. It's only Gudjohnsen who's gone down with a crack on the back of the head in the mud. Konchesky is a tough young lad. He certainly came off better there. What Claudio Ranieri will make of the changes that Charlton have made at half-time. Full-blooded challenge by Konchesky. There's any malice in it. Provided Gudjohnsen wouldn't care either way. He's the one who got the crack in the back of the head. Good atmosphere at Stamford Bridge. Almost like being by the seaside with the amount of sand down on the pitch. Negotiations ongoing over what's going to happen to the ball when the referee from the Wirral puts it back into play. Cudicini receives it. Oh, he didn't get to it in time to keep it in play. It sort of turned everybody around, and a few of the fans are unhappy about this. Charlton shouldn't really, in all decency, press this too hard now, having put the ball out almost like old rugby union style, like Rob Andrew used to do for the England team, put it right in the corner. And they are pressurising it, and it's Charlton, and they win the ball back again. Konchesky, well nicked back by Frank Lampard. Again, the challenge came in. Charlton, unrefurbishedly at half-time, made them change their tactics. I think where they've really struggled is their creative players on the ball. Not that Chelsea have necessarily done better in that regard. They've just taken their opportunities in the first half. And certainly, what you will expect from Charlton, if you haven't seen much of them, is a full-blooded approach to the game. The kind of game that Chelsea, of the last couple of seasons, will be renowned for losing. Good test of character. Konchesky's ball forward. Lisbie goes for the 1-2 with Bartlett, and Bartlett, the South African, wins it back himself. And the outlet on the right is Luke Young. Saux backing away. Does possess a long throw, Luke Young. Drying his hands. It's not a wet day, which is a good bit of news considering the state of the pitch. And would it fall for Jensen? Decides against the shot, decides to nick it back in to the penalty area. Jason Euell, who can play in midfield and operate there quite effectively with the ball forward. That's Jonathan Johansson, and he wins a corner. Hasn't had the happiest times of late, Jonathan Johansson. Hasn't scored a single league goal all season. He did score 2 good ones against Exeter. And obviously, as an experienced international former Rangers player, his standard is a little bit higher than Exeter City, struggling at the bottom end of the Division 3. Jensen's corner fishes the target. He loses out though to Petit. Parker does decide to keep it in. I'm sure that Jensen sort of expected him to do that. They get away with a throw though. Luke Young is always happy to take, always keen to be the first to take it. We'll get a couple of yards to throw it in. I suppose he might be able to clean his boots off out there, and that is a foul. It's not the first time I've seen Mike Dean give a free kick inside the penalty area rather than the penalty. I think Babayaro will be all right. Take a little bit of time to get back up after the challenge. Bartlett, who is a physical presence, 6'2". Scored early in the season for South Africa, then he came back into the Premiership and scored a goal again there, and certainly Alan Kirbishley was confident that that would get him back into his goal-scoring ways. But he's faltered again since then. As I say, no goals in 8. Obviously, way inside Stamford Bridge, except the few people here from Charlton will be keen that that poor run continues. Gronkjaer gets the decision. The sliding challenge coming from Konchesky. And credit there to Gronkjaer, could have gone down, could have made a meal of it. Look for the yellow card. Now Graham Saux to take it. Movement inside the penalty area, certainly gets some flight on that. And Kiely had to backtrack. And for a second I thought the keeper was going to lose it. A little bit of luck about Saux' free kick. I'm sure it was intended as a cross. And just for a second it looked as if Kiely was underneath it, and he had to backtrack at the last second and just palm it away for another corner, which Jimmy Floyd Hasselbaink will again take. A lot of people aren't happy to see the centre forward taking corners. Changes the angle, catches Saux out. Good cross though by Saux, dangerous one inside the penalty area. Jensen half clears. A few boos as the ball goes long, and physical battle for Chelsea in the second half from Johansson, but they get it back to Cudicini, beaten only by the spot kick from Jason Euell in the first half. Did have that slightly odd incident where he picked the ball up from the back pass. I don't really blame him for that though. I think it was a bit of an ask from Petit to give it to him. Ranieri on his feet, and the man to the other side, and just the shouting really for Charlton is Mervyn Day. The assistant manager at Charlton is Keith Peacock, Gavin's dad. Gavin, who a couple of seasons at Chelsea, of course, in the 90s. Here's Jody Morris. Babayaro just looks around for a few options. Decides to use the easy ball to Saux. Lisbie seems to switch to the right-hand side of midfield in the second half. Certainly much more attacking Charlton side. When I was handed the team sheet a bit earlier on, I thought it was quite defensive looking. Although Euell obviously was employed as a front man in the first half. I suppose Alan Kirbishley forced into it by Chelsea's goals. Doesn't have the pace of a normal Premiership game really, and I have to say that underfoot conditions is playing a part in that. Just slowing down the fluidity of the passing, forcing or tempting players into hitting the ball long, but doesn't really suit players of the quality certainly of Chelsea, and to credit to Charlton as well. We've got lots of good touch players as well, like the likes of Jensen. Very kindly demonstrates it for me by failing to get the ball out of his feet. Johansson tries to turn. Johansson's record is one of real puzzling nature for his manager. When he first came to English football, he was scoring all the time. Scored 7 in his first 8 games after signing from Glasgow Rangers, and then they've virtually dried up since then. Here's Lampard, whips in the low ball. Saux is backing away, will open up for Saux, and Kiely's lost it! Oh, what a nightmare moment for the Charlton keeper, but delight for Graham Saux. He struck it with hope rather than any kind of expectation, and somehow Dean Kiely lost it. And Graham Saux will celebrate a goal. There was a little bit of curve on it, but really, a keeper's experienced and as good as Dean Kiely, to lose a shot like that, what a huge bonus that is for Chelsea. The second goal of the season for Graham Saux. He scored against West Brom as well. Doesn't get too many. And he's right to celebrate. But what a huge stroke of luck for Chelsea. And all the reorganisations of Alan Kirbishley at half-time undone by one decent crack, hopeful crack by Saux. And then a dreadful mistake by that man Dean Kiely. Nine minutes into the second half, and they could just so much do without that. Konchesky is operating at left back now in the second half after the reorganisation from Charlton. And there aren't many more changes he can make. He's got Bart-Williams and Jonathan Fortune left on the bench. A midfielder and a defender with his backup keeper, of course. It doesn't leave him with many options. He played his cards at half-time and then has been let down by his goalkeeper. What a strange game this has been. Chelsea will be delighted with this. 4-1 they lead. Gudjohnsen very, very happy at the stroke of luck that Chelsea got there. Just kicking the ball away. And receiving a quick word from the referee for his troubles as well. Gronkjaer's clearance, apologising for slightly hurried bit of defending. He did have options. Here is Konchesky. They've won themselves a corner there, they have. Kevin Lisbie getting across to get involved. Jensen will take it. Scored 4 times this season. Jensen is only 25, seems to have been around for ages. At Charlton for 3 years now. Here comes his corner. It's a high one to the back post. Morris half clears it. Luke Young had a decent game. He's good on the ball. Young English defender. And it's well won back by Jensen, not known for his work rate, but he did well there against Saux. And Konchesky's ball forward is disappointing, to say the least. Cudicini, you can't blame him if he wants to slow the game down a little bit. He won't struggle. The pace it's been played at so far. Zola, I wonder what part he will play. It's figured in Premiership game in some way or other. The goals have dried up for him as well. I'm sure he'd be delighted to get on, desperate to get on almost. Big game coming up at Old Trafford next week, of course, and then the FA Cup tie with Shrewsbury as well. Hasselbaink layoff. When he lays the ball off Jimmy Floyd, you can see how hard he hits it. I watched him in training, and I've never seen a player strike the ball. When the players are training and they kick the ball into the back of the nets, everybody else's shots have a different sound to Jimmy Floyd Hasselbaink's. Gronkjaer tries to take on Konchesky, but rather than being up against Powell as he was in the first half, and he got a bit of joy out of Chris Powell, Konchesky is a bit faster. There will be more of a challenge for Jesper Gronkjaer in the second half. Dean Kiely, I wonder how quickly keepers can put bad mistakes out of their mind. This is Luke Young for Charlton. 13th they lie in the Premiership, it's only a start of play. Could well be slipping a place or two. On the wrong end of 4-1 scoreline. Johansson, the Finnish international, actually born in Sweden. Cost £3.75 million, arrived at the same time as this man, Jensen. Rufus with the ball forward. Cudicini comes, 2 fists to it. A few English observers unhappy at that, but it's effective. He's certainly got the ball out of the danger area. And there's an uncomfortable looking clearance by Richard Rufus. What can Hasselbaink do from here? They're backing away from Hasselbaink! And it's always a dangerous thing to do. He's always prepared to have a crack, Jimmy Floyd. You don't need to ask him twice. And on this occasion, just got underneath it slightly. Even in these tricky circumstances and conditions, Jimmy Floyd can still strike the ball well enough. Conditions underfoot, of course, may well deteriorate a little more. Poor old Dean Kiely. Sarcastic applause from the Chelsea fans as he bends down to pick the ball up. Flick on comes, and Lisbie is going to chase this one. The referee gives the decision Chelsea's way. No complaints from the young men. Interesting ding-dong battle between these two clubs over the last couple of years, because if, like me, you're feeling fairly confident that Chelsea will run out winners of this game, it will be a double over Charlton for the season. The last 2 seasons, Charlton have done the double over Chelsea. Season before that, Chelsea did the double over Charlton. And in overall league meetings ever, it was exactly even for today. 21 wins each, 15 draws. Met 3 times in the Cup, Chelsea won them all. Could well be meeting later stages of the Cup. Of course, Charlton knocked out Exeter of the 3rd division. A few tips maybe after the game on defeating lower league opposition in Cup competitions, with that uncomfortable tie coming up at Gay Meadow. Konchesky plays it forward, right-footed. Good striker of the ball. Frank Lampard in supreme form today. A little 1-2, Gudjohnsen and Hasselbaink. Will it open up for Hasselbaink? Jimmy Floyd smacks back off the post, unlucky. Still a chance. Frank Lampard pulls it back, and that was a good little toe in by Richard Rufus. And Jimmy Floyd, Hasselbaink, no luck in front of goal this time. It was a classic move by the two of them, and they've got another chance. He's onside, Gudjohnsen, if Gronkjaer spotted that, because the Charlton back line hadn't got themselves into any kind of order. But he delayed. I understand why he delayed, probably thinking he was offside. Jody Morris. Neither side really has been able to maintain any long periods of possession in this game, because the ball just won't run kindly for anybody. Frank Lampard does have an option wide at right in Gronkjaer. Is the Chelsea and England midfielder again. Just had his ankles clipped by Scott Parker. Came to prominence, Parker, as a ball juggler youngster in the Burger advert. It's sick of people mentioning it, apparently. Unlucky there, Jimmy Floyd, under pressure from Fish. Plenty of power in the shot. For a second I thought it would creep in. Saux free kick, and Kiely gets 2 hands around it. It's the first decent effort he's made since conceding the 4th goal from Graham Saux. And he had a little hairy moment as well, didn't he, from the free kick that Saux swung in, where he seemed to just misjudge it and end up having to backtrack and make the save at the very last second. This is Luke Young for Charlton. It wasn't a bad ball in, and they're still trying to make something of it through Lisbie, not able to. It comes out edge of the penalty area. Johansson, did Luke Young manage to keep that in? He did for what it was worth, because it's straight out of play for a goal kick for Chelsea. Do need to win their home games. They've dropped points at home compared to other teams at the top of the league. For all, it looks like a reasonable record, winning 6, drawing 3, and then just the 1 defeat against West Ham. Compare that to the likes of Arsenal and Manchester United, 10 wins and 1 draw, 1 defeat. Identical records. Newcastle, 10 wins and 1 defeat, no draws for them. This is where Chelsea really need to pick up points, because away from home they've picked up as many points as any other team. Only Leeds have got as many. Gronkjaer again. It's Chelsea trying to improve the home record. He's done well there, Jesper Gronkjaer, and he's done really well, and then Fish has to put that behind for another Chelsea corner. It's worn out, poor Jesper Gronkjaer. Had a decent game this afternoon. I wonder if he was just being modest by admitting to the media that he wasn't playing particularly well, and that he wasn't worth holding on to his place. Here comes Saux' corner, palmed away by Kiely, under pressure, did well. Seems to have bounced back from the mistake he made. Good work by Klaus Jensen. Scott Parker. Jensen again. And then Emmanuel Petit with a clearance. And Dean Kiely fields it, as you would expect him to. Bartlett is the target, flicks it on for Johansson. First time ball back by the Finland international. Konchesky now. Bartlett again, who's pulled away from the centre really. They need him in the in the danger zone. That's why they brought him on. Petit gives the ball away. Jason Euell tries to make him pay, and the whistle blows. Wouldn't have counted from Johansson. Flag raised to indicate it's on the far side from where the assistant referee is standing. Another change on the way from Charlton. It's Lisbie who's going off, and John Fortune who's coming on. How that will line up. Fortune is a defender. He's a good solid defender. The young man. He got as much publicity last year when he was playing in the same defence as likes of Fish and Costa and the comedy headlines as he had before then. From Islington, he's 22. And, he's played, this is now his 12th Premiership game of the season. He scored 1 goal this season, which was against West Ham. Jody Morris, first half sub for John Terry, of course. In the action, plays it back to Manuel Petit, who had to change position as a result of that. He had started very well in midfield, and Terry's absence just meant that he dropped back into the back four. Hasselbaink under pressure from Fortune, and first thing that Fortune does is give a free kick away. Gudjohnsen just appealing there as he was hoping to benefit from the layoff from Jimmy Floyd. And Hasselbaink is over this. I wonder if he's going to even Jimmy Floyd would be optimistic to have a crack from this kind of distance, way outside the penalty area. He could just switch the angle, and it would make more sense if So took it. Certainly, as an old traditionalist, I'd like to see Jimmy Floyd just outside the penalty area on these occasions. He drifts the ball in, and I think I was vindicated in my view. Not that I'm claiming to know more about football than Jimmy Floyd Hasselbaink, of course. Bouncing behind the goal, the detractors of Dean Kiely, of which there will be a few in the Chelsea crowd. Parker and the brown surface of Stamford Beach. Hardly a bit of grass to be seen at all on the brown surface. It's like watching football from altogether hotter countries, certainly in terms of the colour, not necessarily in terms of the way that it's cut up. And as we say, it is the last time that you will see the pitch in this condition before it is relayed. Luke Young just a little bit late with his challenge there, gets away with it though, and the ball goes long, but Fish heads it away from Gudjohnsen. Babayaro, now Hasselbaink dropping deep to get involved. Gudjohnsen with his back to goal. Forward run comes, oh, it's a good one as well, and Dean Kiely comes out sliding at the feet of Frank Lampard. He did well there, the Republic of Ireland goalkeeper. Petit not very happy with that decision. There's a little wave of the arm, booked in the first half. Manuel Petit, as was Graham Saux and Chrissy Powell, but that doesn't matter anymore. He's off. Rufus delivers the ball. Penalty spot for the target, William Gallas. It's his header to it. Gronkjaer battling with Konchesky. He's done well. Yes, for Gronkjaer, and then he gets a kick on the foot for his trouble, and the painful ones, those ones. As you're kicking the ball, you just get the other guy's foot sort of left in there, and he's not very happy. Yes, for Gronkjaer. And the referee comes between the two of them. Book in hand for Konchesky's benefit. Building himself a little sandcastle now. Carlo Cudicini to take this free kick. Ta-da. Fabulous season, Carlo Cudicini. Unfortunately, it's as if he might be having a suspension coming up. He's playing with Mark Fish. Lazio. He only made one appearance. And a spell at Milan, he didn't make any. Here come Charlton again. Gallas does so well. So much pace. William Gallas is a natural centre-back, and that's his best position. Well, you could argue otherwise. You know, the way he took the second goal that Chelsea scored today. Fish with the header. Marcel Desailly says have it back. Fish again. And Babayaro. All you need now is a bit of snow on the ground and an orange ball. A few kids in parkas, take you back to the 70s. Chelsea have a free kick. Babayaro takes and finds Graham Saux. Isn't particularly happy, Claudio Ranieri, should be. The side seemed to be coasting to an important victory against a potentially tricky opponent who were unbeaten in their last 8 in the Premiership. Started the season dreadfully, Charlton, with a series of defeats. Certainly at home, including against Chelsea on the opening day. They have pulled themselves around. A very similar away record to their home record. Here's Konchesky. Good challenge, Frank Lampard. What a fine game, Frank Lampard. We can find a teammate with that one. Hasselbaink making something of it in his battle with Rufus. It's pushed by Mark Fish on Gudjohnsen. Also old teammates, of course, in the Bolton Wanderers days. Jason Euell just directing the troops in the Charlton midfield. Free kick is taken. So, obviously wants to play it to the left. Babayaro was a bit slow to react to that. And Frank Lampard. A 1-2 with Morris, but they lose out, and things aren't running for Johansson these days. Chelsea send it back to Cudicini, who doesn't really get a clean clearance on it, but he gets a bit of luck. Charlton come forward once more, and Johansson is under pressure from Desailly. Now, is that going to be a corner? I think it is a corner. Odd way of indicating it from the referee's assistant. Doesn't seem to have lost much of his pace, Marcel Desailly, despite the relatively advancing age. He's 34 years of age now. Here's Jensen's corner. And it's a header from Bartlett, and it was a dangerous one down as well, and that's Rufus's ball. Not able to find Mark Fish, and is there a break on here? How many shirts can Chelsea get forward? It's William Gallas, and he's got Gudjohnsen as an option. Now he's got Gronkjaer. Gallas continues, he's got to be offside, and it's a... Oh dear me, he was offside anyway. And that is why William Gallas is not a striker. What a position it was for Chelsea. They were breaking away. And you could see as soon as he laid the ball off, he ran ahead of the ball, expecting it back. And Gronkjaer, we don't have many options but to give it to him. And the finish, well, he's fully delighted to see the flag. Oof, dear me. The first finish for the goal was absolutely magnificent. The second one will not be making the William Gallas home video collection. Good break. The third Chelsea goal, of course, came from a quick break from that Charlton corner. And as I say, that's where Gronkjaer can be so effective with his pace, because no one can really catch up with him when he's in full flow. It's allowing to make 50 or 60 yards. Here's Saux. Ball into the penalty area. Gudjohnson's got a little bit of space. He just couldn't get the ball down and cleanly into his feet. Unfortunately, he's claiming that he's won a goal kick there. Good defending in the end, but they just backed off at Gudjohnsen. And for a second I thought it might open up for him to get a shot away. Unhappy with the decision. Young Ida, I wonder if it's about the time to be making a change. If they want to get Gianfranco Zola into the action, they made one change in the first half. Goey, Zenden, Zola and Carlton Cole, the unused substitutes. Gronkjaer loses out. That's with Jensen. Jody Morris outside of the boot with a little layoff. And Charlton just looking a little open again. Babayaro. Gudjohnsen dropping deep. Tries to find Hasselbaink. Good brave header away by Richard Rufus. And the referee gives the decision Chelsea's way. It was a good bit of news, really, because he was looking as if they were looking as if they might break away quite dangerously, despite that misjudgment of the ball by Bartlett. Just deciding that Johansson had rolled Desailly. No particular hurry with this Chelsea. Lampard to Babayaro. His ball forward finds Gudjohnsen and Jimmy Floyd. You can guarantee he was going to have a crack from there. Way over the top of the crossbar. The number of goals he scored, obviously, no one is really going to argue with his credentials. And he's scored 53 Premiership goals for Chelsea in 91 games. And if you include his Leeds Premiership appearances as well, that's 87 Premiership goals in 160 games. We are going to see Gianfranco Zola stripped and ready to play on a chilly afternoon in West London. Fish with the long ball forward. It won't run out of play. Johansson will get there first. Plays it back to Konchesky under pressure. And then he's won a throw. I wonder if Chelsea will make the change and get Zola into the action while they're on the defensive. All back away from Konchesky. Actually, there's a reasonably long throw on him. In it comes. Desailly away. Parker back in. Babayaro's clearance. Fortune forward. Flicked on towards Jason Euell running in behind the Chelsea defence. And is that a handball? No. Oh, we'll take that. Now Frank Lampard bursts away from Parker. Excellent run by Lampard. Can he keep going now? Uses the option of Hasselbaink. Hasselbaink has a quick look. Dangerous ball in, and it's glanced over the top of the keeper. And he gets lucky on this occasion, Dean Kiely. Comes back in again for Gudjohnsen. And what a block, right on the line. Ryder Gudjohnsen must have thought he'd scored. As the ball came back in, he was in the perfect position, and Dean Kiely just recovering his position. And Chelsea looked for all the world that they were going to get their fifth goal. A little flick over the top the first time, and then the better block was when it came back in. And Parker with the eventual clearance. And that is the end of the game for Graham Saux. So Gianfranco Zola will continue his record of playing at least some part in every Premiership game for Chelsea this season. Bit of a reorganisation as well. I wonder if Zola will just take up a slightly deeper position. Foul there by Parker on Jody Morris. Free kick for Babayaro to take. Zola wants his first touch. He's got 12 minutes to make an impact, plus a little bit of stoppage time. Can't remember too many incidents to delay us. Mark Fish clears. Had a fantastic start to the season, Gianfranco Zola, and all the way through it, Claudio Ranieri was saying that you can't expect a man of 36 to play to the same standard week in, week out. He needs a rest at some point. He's had a fabulous career with Chelsea. Not far away from 300 senior appearances, including his cup competitions as well. And the FA Cup twice, Worthington Cup, scored, of course, in the Cup Winners' Cup final as well, and will be long remembered as a Chelsea legend. Lampard's challenge on Jason Euell, and Babayaro makes sure that they win it back. Zola has a quick look around and sees what's available for him, and then asks too much of Jimmy Floyd Hasselbaink. Too firm a flick for Jimmy Floyd. And there's another change. It looks like it's Zenden just receiving a few instructions from Claudio Ranieri. Could be one of the front two to come off. Obviously decided against giving Carlton Cole a run out if he makes his third and final change with Zenden coming on. Here is Zola. Good change of direction from Zola, and he cracked it well enough. Kiely felt he had to dive across just to make sure it didn't change direction and creep in. Really did sell Scott Parker a nice one here. Leaves him a couple of yards the other side of him, but I suppose they did have covering pressure. And it is Zenden who is coming on, and it's Jesper Gronkjaer who goes off. Virtually like for like, you would imagine. And a decent game, Jesper Gronkjaer. Had a hand in the goal, certainly the Gudjohnsen goal. William Gallas with the clearance. Actually, to Gronkjaer's credit, he had a hand in Gallas' goal as well. Lampard plays the ball for Celestine Babayaro. A little touchdown by Gudjohnsen to Zola. Luke Young wins a throw. Babayaro, who did well to chase them right up the field, box them in. It's Chelsea. We expect to coast to victory. It would really be a mammoth turnaround from here if Charlton were to get something out of this game, but they're going to try. Zenden has to do some defending in front of Konchesky. Gives a back pass to his keeper. Can't complain about this one though, because it's in the right part of the penalty area. Clearance finds John Fortune and makes a mess of his clearance. Unlucky there, Gianfranco Zola, but he does lose out to Parker, and Desailly's got to defend. Another back pass for Cudicini. Didn't have many options there, Desailly. Cudicini wasn't happy with the back pass. Luke Young again. A little bit of space for him to work. Oh, well done, Marcel Desailly, but then he loses out. Chelsea just being pegged back at the moment. Jensen plays it wide right. Parker. Chelsea pulling bodies back. Even Jimmy Floyd Hasselbaink is back there. And between him and Morris, they do enough to win the ball back and break away as well. He's got Zola, and he finds Zola, and it's always a little optimistic. You just don't know how the ball is going to roll on this pitch. A pitch that has got 7 minutes of its life, plus a bit of stoppage time before it is cut up completely for the Leeds game. Forlorn looking Sean Bartlett. It really hasn't been his day since coming on as a sub in the second half. Hasn't really worked the way that Alan Kirbishley would have wanted it to for Charlton. And obviously chucking on the two front men, Johansson and Bartlett, and putting Lisbie and Euell back into the midfield. He was hoping to really turn round Chelsea. In fact, Charlton finished the first half better than they played for much of the second. And I suppose you also got to factor in the debilitating effect of the nature of Graham Lasso's goal. And credit to Lasso, his second of the season, certainly given a bit of a helping hand by Dean Kiely. And there's a tired looking Scott Parker. Had a difficult afternoon, difficult conditions, and Chelsea deserve their lead. And Mike Dean has his hand in his notebook again. Scott Parker joins those on a yellow card. Is William Gallas. There's another chance as well from Zola's pass this time. Knocking the ball around well. They can string 10 passes together on this pitch, I'll be amazed. Even Chelsea. Here is Zola. Lampard. This is a good move by Chelsea. Chance maybe for Jody Morris, will it open up? Challenge comes in from Richard Rufus. It's a firm challenge by Mark Fish. I've seen them given in other parts of the pitch. Always gets good ovation. Gianfranco Zola. Fans near the corner flag. Babayaro's cross. Chance for Desailly, and it just creeps the wrong side of the post. Held his ground very well. Didn't really have to jump very high. Just got in between the two. It was Bartlett who had the responsibility to mark him, and Fish who pulled away from Gudjohnsen to get involved. Marcel Desailly probably thought he was going to get his second goal of the season. Lagging behind William Gallas. Gallas got his third of the campaign with his strike early in the game. That put Chelsea 2 goals to the good. What a start it was for Chelsea for what could have been a real tricky fixture. Imagine now if it was 0-0 or Chelsea were just 1 goal up or something. You can imagine the nerves around Stamford Bridge, but 2 early goals really did knock the stuffing out of Charlton for a long time as well. Jensen finds Johansson. And he can't get the escapes on. Klaus Jensen, and Chelsea are able to come away again. Here's Zola, he's going to take on Jason Euell. Does well, Jason Euell. He's not a back midfielder and plays a striker as well. Have Chelsea time to get a 5th? Definitely got time. Looks like they've got the inclination as well. Just Charlton trying to stop them. Good step over by Zola. Hasselbaink and Zenden just can't read it. Obviously thought that Hasselbaink was going to take it and hit it. And when it came through to him from his sometime international teammate, he just hadn't read it and wasn't ready for it. Unlucky. Zenden. Kiely in those tracksuit bottoms to protect his legs from the sand. Scott Parker. Jonathan Fortune. Parker. Don't suppose he was intending to play the ball to Babayaro. If he was, it was a very accurate pass. Now Gudjohnsen. Haven't got many goals really in recent times, the Chelsea main 3 strikers, although obviously Gudjohnsen and Hasselbaink have scored today. They'll be desperately keen to add to their tally. No question of seizing up and getting Charlton off the hook. Konchesky, who's played left back, left midfield, and is back in left midfield for the 2nd time in the game. Good run by him. Decent ball in as well. Cudicini was he's scurrying across. Bartlett keeps it in, and Petit, no nonsense from him this time, gets the ball away. Fish to Rufus. Not really a ball playing centre half, Richard Rufus. Straightforward, good tackler, good strong in the air. Here is a man who likes to play no matter where he's playing on the pitch. Manuel Petit. Cudicini's clearance. Gudjohnsen can't beat Fish. And for once, Frank Lampard doesn't get hold of the ball in the midfield. Instead, Jason Euell wins out this time. Konchesky. Parker. Asking a little bit of Luke Young, but he does enough to get there. All the Spurs man. Good run as well. Well read, Babayaro. Lampard's ball stays in. Zola. A little bit of a mix-up. Jimmy Floyd apologises. Held in so much respect, Gianfranco Zola. Jimmy Floyd just acknowledging it was his mistake. for not making the run that Zola was expecting him to. Well won back by Jody Morris. Zenden, late sub, hasn't really had an impact on the game yet. Could have if he'd been able to read that little flick from Hasselbaink. Well done, Gallas. What a defender he is. Even at £6 million, he looks a bargain. Good pace as well. Look at the room he's got. What kind of delivery. He's got 2 chances to deliver it. He finds Hasselbaink the second time. They mustn't stand off Hasselbaink. No, they didn't. Gudjohnsen had the shot. And he's suitably disappointed. Just the 2 minutes of time to be added on, as Chelsea seem to be coasting to a 7th Premiership win at Stamford Bridge this season, to go with their 4 away wins as well. Really need to pull away from chasing pack in the Champions League hunt. Claudio Ranieri is still insisting is the target for the season. Keeps pointing out that Arsenal in the last few years and Manchester United have just so many more points than Chelsea that you just need to track them for a little while yet. But other people around the club with a little bit more optimism. I'm sure Ranieri wants the league, but he just doesn't want to build up expectations and have something thrown back in his face by the media. And he's right, it would be thrown back in his face. Is Bartlett at Charlton. Luke Young inside the penalty area, runs away from him. Cudicini not taking any chances by picking the ball up. Knocks it out, gives Charlton maybe one last chance. Could be about 40 seconds left to play. Time certainly for Jensen to take a corner. Cudicini directed Babayaro to the exact spot that he wants him to stand in. Doesn't want to concede a second goal. Here comes Jensen. Good header away by Babayaro. He did stand in exactly the right spot. Rufus again for Klaus Jensen. Hasn't been Jensen's happiest afternoon. Talented player though he is. And Emmanuel Petit, coolest man around, wins the ball back. And Zola will bring the ball away. The last few seconds of the game. A game that Chelsea are really impressed in. Awkward game and awkward conditions. And maybe Zola can finish it with a little bit of something special. Oh, good challenge. And Petit blows his whistle, and Chelsea come away with 3 valuable, much-needed points. Hard won as well. Got off to such a fantastic start. Jimmy Floyd Hasselbaink with a penalty just 3 minutes into the game. It really set them on their way. Willie Gallas with a fantastic finish to make it 2-0 with just 11 minutes gone. Gudjohnsen back him on the goals for 3-0 after a quick breakaway from a Charlton corner. The visitors thought they'd given themselves a little bit of hope, chasing Euell from their penalty spot in the closing stages of the first half. But then Graham Lasso with his 2nd Premiership goal of the season. A really bad mistake made by Dean Kiely, in all honesty, was the decisive goal. And it's a tricky tie on a tricky pitch that has been well negotiated by Chelsea, and they will be delighted to run out here. It's finished Chelsea 4, Charlton 1.
It was very important to score 2 goals in the first 10 minutes, and was very important also the last goal, because the last goal finished the match. But it was fantastic because the Chelsea players wanted to score a goal, wanted to create, to build other action, and was very, very important to win today after the 2 lost defeat.
Should we keep the pitch?
No. Simple as that. No, it's a disgrace. Get it up, get rid of it, and I don't think you can get cows to go on that pitch.
Why do we play so well then?
I just think it's a sign of the spirit at the moment, and a sign of the confidence of the players that we believe in each other. And I think if anything today, we realised what a handicap the pitch could be, and I think we worked even harder for each other. We knew there were going to be mistakes, and we didn't sort of lose heart because of that. We actually worked harder to make sort of mistakes into good passes and things. So we handled the conditions far better than Charlton did.
4-1, so clearly we must keep the pitch.
Yeah, I spoke with Trevor Birch and I asked maintain this pitch because it's fantastic. Maybe the players are used to playing the beach, beach soccer.
Jesper Gronkjaer, I think we'll give you 2 assists today.
Yeah, it was nice and important win for Chelsea, and I saw some of the other results which were really good for us. So it's important for us starting winning again, going to get on a winning strike again. So now it's going to be hard to go to Manchester, but we're full of confidence. It's going to be a battle up there.
Talk me through your thoughts when you first saw the pitch today.
Yeah, obviously it's not the best pitch to play football on, but Baba just told me before the game, back in Africa, he would be happy to play on a pitch like that, and I mean, it's also bad for the crowd. You're still paying the same money to get into the game, and we just have to get on with it. It's going to be the same for Charlton, and stopping and saying, yeah, oh, it's irritating, you don't get further on. And today we were the better team on the field, and the manager was talking about Copacabana, and we actually played quite okay on a pitch like that.
We saw some of the best of Jesper Gronkjaer today.
Yeah, all crosses was fantastic, played very, very well.
And he had a hand in the second and the third goals. The second goal was a wonderful team goal with Petit and Lampard and Gronkjaer, and finally the Gallas finish.
Yeah, good action. Every touch in vertical and forward was fantastic. But all the match I liked. I'm very pleased about my players after this period. For us was important. I said these last 5 matches I want to see what happened, and we made 7 points last season against the same teams, only 1, and then was important for us after also the Leeds defeat and Arsenal defeat to play well and to win today.
You've been forced because of injury to play William Gallas at right back, and he's probably made his best right back performances for you in the last 2 games.
He's enjoyed to go forward, and I always when I speak with him say, not always, I like when the defender go in overlap, but it's very difficult to go in overlap when in front of you there is a Gronkjaer. You have a motorbike to do this. Play very, very well. And also there is a good link between Gallas and Gronkjaer.
The second goal, which was a wonderful goal, wonderful team goal as well. But is that the first time in your life that you've had the ball and the fullbacks come steaming up past you at that pace?
Yeah, you're right. It was a good goal and an important one for us. But that's William. I think I was told that he used to be a striker back in France, or maybe even back on Guadeloupe, and you want to get forward all the time, and sometimes you just tell him to stay back. And yeah, okay.
It was very, very fast movement down that right wing on occasions.
Yeah, I think we had a good partnership today, and it's also not really Williams' position, but I think we get along quite well, and for me it's not really a problem to take over in the back in the defense sometimes, and I know he want to get forward, and he's really good at it, so yeah, we did have some good actions on the right wing.
I think that was one of our best performances of the season, to be honest. I really do. I think we played some very progressive football, and our commitment in the tackle and commitment to each other was 100% today, and I think that everybody watching the game can see that and see that we sort of controlled the game in every sense of the word.
Talk us through the 4th goal.
Well, obviously, the power at which I struck the ball caused Dean Kiely to lose sight of it. Maybe a divot hit him first, I don't know, from the pitch. But no, in all honesty, the ball did move quite a lot through the air, and I'm just grateful for any goal I can lay claim to.
4-1, it could have been a lot more.
It could have, yeah. We defended very well, I thought, and really restricted their chances, and we counter-attacked excellently. We created some very good chances. I remember Ida having a point-blank header saved by the goalkeeper. Jesper got in some excellent positions and provided some very quality and dangerous pop balls. We broke from midfield well. yeah, I think today we played well.
It's a good start now to this period after Christmas and the New Year, and we're coming up to some difficult games.
Yeah, of course, now there is Manchester United, but it's okay, we are ready. I remember the Warrington Cup, we play well. Maybe in the best our moment they scored the goals, and then we remember that, and we are ready to play there.
Ashes to ashes, dust to dust. Let's say good riddance to this pitch. Even though it's been a good one for Chelsea, nobody has scored on it since Paolo Di Canio did at the end of September, apart from Everton when we were 4-0 up and Charlton when we won 4-1. It's been a good day all round at Stamford Bridge, even with the beach. Good night.